Hey, what's up, USA, International, Long Island, aka Strong Island, Canada, five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, host with the most misunderstood lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, host with the most, and rookie podcaster of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you're rocking and hanging out with me on the 237th episode of Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast, live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube and myself is the Instagram live feed. So make sure you turn on your notifications so you can see me on Instagram live on every episode recording of each podcast pages on the Instagram live feed. And if you have any comments that you want to talk about as far as like the topics that's going to be discussed, you're more than welcome to actually do that. And on top of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button for me on the YouTube channel page of G Money Stacks 555. That's where you see all the New York episodes on there. And of course, tap the noni bell so you could be and alongside with enabling alerts so you could be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and topics. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, and of course be sure to download the episodes, share the episodes, share the videos, and of course be sure to catch up on the episodes in case you miss any of them by listening, streaming, and watching on every streaming platform. And of course, spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And of course, tell a friend to another friend and spread it to everybody. And I'll handle the rest on where you can listen to the podcast episodes. All right. Now, if you like to support this podcast, actually, you can go ahead and make a charitable donation to my Cash App, which is G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G, lowercase MONEY, capital S, lowercase TACKZ 555. It's not about having a lot of money from a rich family. It's all about doing the best you can on whatever amount of money you are comfortable with that you desire will be appreciated. So write it down on your piece of paper, sticky notes, wherever it is. You can donate whatever amount you choose. Will be appreciated. All right. And also don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Podchaser, Podfriend, alongside with Apple Podcasts, of course, and alongside with the other the other platform, which is Spotify. Of course, you can share the episodes on Spotify as well, so don't forget to do that as well. The reason why I'm doing this a little early is because of the fact that I didn't get a chance to record 237 last night because of my other podcast show that I was recording, which is episode 114, which will be dropped off today, and alongside with episode 236. Hopefully I can get to 2 hours in this episode and episode 238, which I will do at 8 o'clock tonight. So you know what I mean? So yeah. And you know what? You know what though? I'd like to do a little mental check-in for a sec before we even go to um the New York Mass Transit Files. I have some things that I need to get off my chest actually. So you know what I'm saying? So let me just find. Oh, hang on a second. Give me a moment. Okay, we need to find the right. One moment. Where's that? Yes, here it is. Okay, there's another one I had to. Hang on a minute. All right. So I know I haven't done mental health check-in in a long time. So I need to get some things off my chest. So, and of course, this segment right here is not just about myself. It's about what you're. It's about everybody in here that's listening and tuning in. That's actually going through something on the inside, whether it's a bad day from work, whether it's something going on internally, whether it's something very painful, whatever it is. And this is why I always ask people, including myself, how are you doing mentally, physically, and spiritually from your recent weekend, particular days, the particular weeks, and stuff like that? It's because I don't want to second guess myself. And the reason I don't second guess myself is because I don't want to assume that everybody is fine, and then next thing you know, they end up having um, suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. So um and that's why I'm here to actually, basically say something. And I'm actually reflecting on what someone told me on Pokecha, and I want to actually give a shout out to a streamer, Laura in California, who actually told me that it has something to offer as far as like, good energy, as far as like figuring out how everybody is doing and stuff like that, because you never know what a person might be going through. You know what I'm saying? And as for me, I know it's been like a rough 3 weeks since I haven't had a phone. And yes, it can be very hard for me to reach out to my sister and everybody else, including the person who is on Fubu Radio and the one that helps me with my taxes and stuff. And along with everyone else, I know everybody been missing me and all that other stuff. And sometimes a part of me wanted to unplug, because with all the crazy stressful shit that's been going on with me, as far as like, trying to do the best I can with my multiple podcast recordings, and I wanted to actually unplug, because with all the insults that's been thrown at me and all that other crazy shit, the word trolls, let me tell you something, folks. Let me tell you something. Trolls is a fucking understatement, all right? And the reason why I say it's an understatement is because I feel like the word trolls has been used too loosely. I like to call these motherfuckers the Neanderthal leeching moron bastards. Those are the fucking idiots who are trying to reach and trying to break a person down like myself. All right. And when I mentioned that I was going through a lot, being cyberbullied twice, and you know what I'm saying? And I actually try to reach out to somebody who is also a podcaster like myself. So um and I don't think it really matters. Listen, to everyone out there who is a first time podcast content creator or whatever, I don't think it should really I don't think it should really matter whether you are monetized or not, because I don't think it's anybody's business. You know people can make money without monetizing shit because they're independent. I'd rather be independent rather than me being under a corporation because of the fact that it can really take a toll out of me knowing that the people in corporations that don't understand a person's vision. You feel what I'm saying? I hope you understand where I'm coming from here. And that's the reason why I want to stay independent. And as far as like trying to as far as like trying to I'm trying my best not to be too much of a people pleaser, but it hasn't really been easy for me. And I'm realizing this right now because, you know, with me and after someone who is also a podcaster like myself um who has a show called the Pricey Cookie Podcast. Shouts to Devoye, man, for talking me out of not having suicidal thoughts because if it wasn't for her, I would have been in a heck of a fucking nightmare. You know what I'm saying? And to for a guy, and I'm not gonna say his name on here because I'm not trying to waste my time giving anybody clout here. For a guy who has an MCU podcast or whatever, right? To say some crazy shit to me, he don't know me. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know me. And for the simple fact that, you know, anytime and anytime you run into somebody that is a fucking bully, right? I think for what I took from this is based on is for me is based on how you move. And the reason why I say it's based on how you move is because of what someone from Brooklyn shouts to Fly Tie Bands for saying this actually, man, because it's based on how you move. Like you don't want to you want to be low key. You want to be low key at all times because you don't want to be like getting too much attention on yourself. And and that's the lesson that I'm really trying to learn here. Like I'm not worried about fame. I'm not worried about anything else whatsoever. I'm more worried about trying to get the skill that I need, which is podcasting, being behind a microphone. Whoever thought that I wanted to actually do this until I got inspired by, a couple of people who are podcasters, people who have their own shows on Fubu Radio or a Power 105.1 or any other stations whatsoever. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's very therapeutic to me. And on top of that, I feel that it's it's saved podcasting has saved my fucking life. You understand what I'm saying, folks? It saved my life and it prevented me from having suicidal thoughts in my head and actually going to kill myself, which I'm not gonna fucking do because I got too much to live for. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here right now with you folks right now on episode 237 and recording 238 tonight. So stick around with me and all the great stuff right there. And as far as how I'm doing mentally, physically, and spiritually, on the mental aspect part of it, um, I've been doing a lot of reflecting on what, like I said, um, on what the person from Pogacha Law said that I have a lot to offer, and it's kind of hard to be. It's very hard to be. It's very hard to be sweet when you try to be so polite and you try to be so kind to one another, and then all of a sudden you get dumped, which is pretty worse than being rejected. Okay. Um, and it took me a long time for me to actually get past it, but shit like this doesn't go away automatically in one day. You feel what I'm saying? Now, physically and spiritually, I am doing all right. And I want y'all to remember this lesson here in the mental health check-in segment right here. And I always say this all the time. Make sure you reach out to your friends, your colleagues, the people, especially your cousins, especially whether you have a date or not. Make sure you reach out to one another because you never know what a person might be going through. And if you take that risk of reaching out to somebody, see how they're doing a mental health check-in and all that other stuff, I guarantee from the homie right here, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, aka Greg, you will get rewarded for doing this. You would be the hero of being able to look out for somebody. Empathize with what a person's going through. Listen, you know what I'm saying? You may not be able to go to every hood, whether you are in the New York area, whether you are in Miami, Florida, or whatever state you're representing from or whatever. But just do the best you can. Do the best you can to reach out to somebody. And I know and guarantee that you are going to get rewarded because I know I am. And as far as a person who is doing everything I can to help by reaching out and stuff like that, well, guess what? Even if I message somebody, whether it's through text messaging, whether it's through Facebook Messenger, whatever it is. And by the way, text messaging and Facebook Messenger is a part of it's part of a it's part of a fucking communications thing. You know what I mean? Messaging is part of communication. You know what I'm saying? Even though sometimes you may not be able to meet up face to face. But like I said, man, when you take a risk, you will be rewarded. And that's the token of my testimony of what I've been through, especially with everything I've been through. You know what I'm saying? People might not understand me. But I'm not going to let that stop me. Because at the same time, I learned from an All American episode. You don't have to tell somebody how great you are. You just have to show how great you are by action. Doing what you love. Doing what you care to do. And not really worrying about, answering to, certain individuals, you know what I'm saying? And you don't really have to prove too much to anybody. And I'm really doing the best I can to actually be a better person. And maybe because I'm different. And it's okay for me to be different from everyone else. And it's okay if I don't fit in with a certain age group or whatever. And it's okay if I'm not gonna fit in with a certain group who has dates and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I want to actually, you're not alone in all this. You're not alone in all this as far as like being single. You're not alone in all this. And the reason and I actually was talking to somebody who previously was on episode 109, who's also on Pokacha, that I couldn't see myself being married because I'm from a family that's divorced, and I thought I was the only person that was from a divorced family of two parents that got divorced. And basically it was just petty differences, petty differences, and the tug of war that I was caught into. And it and I got blamed for I got blamed for the split of my parents. And it really made me angry and it made me upset because number one, a person like me does not deserve to carry that burden and pain. And and whenever I hear the word divorce, it just brings bad memories. You know what I'm saying? Shit like this doesn't really go away automatically. It just takes time, maybe years. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, be sure you reach out to your loved ones, including your friends, whenever they're going through dark times or whatever. When when you do that, they're gonna look up to you as a hero and a savior because you don't want to second guess yourself. And that's my token of my testimony right here. And boom. All right, man. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Now it's time to go into the New York Mass Transit files right here, man. Yeah, here we go. Okay, before I even get into the New York Mass Transit files, let me give a shout out to the people that just came into the Instagram live feed. All right. Here we are. Hey, shouts to Yoshi Sings. She's doing her thing right now, man. I haven't spoken to her in a long time. Maybe I might get her on my podcast episode one of these days, though, man. Hopefully, depending on her schedule and all the other stuff. So, you know, I'm gonna try to cross my fingers on this. So we'll see what happens, man. Remains to be seen. And shouts to the people in the Take 30 podcast, man. If you don't know anything about these people and their podcast, check them out on Spotify or any other streaming platforms that you get your podcast. All right. So there you go, right there, folks. And you can follow them on Instagram as well, too. All right. Okay. Now that I got that out the way, our first topic in Mass Transit Files, New York Mass Transit Files, is regarding the air train. All right, the air train. Yes. And unfortunately, there is a fare hike in the air train. So let's get into it right here. and this is kind of like it's probably alarming to a lot of people, but you know, here's what's happening here. The price of an air train ride to John F. Kennedy and New York airports will rise to $8.25 next month, according to the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, which runs the service. Well, $8.25. And the agency's 2023 budget, adopted in December, notes that the fare will rise by 25 cents from its current position at $8 on the shuttle service connecting transit commuters to the region's international airports. $8. And yes, so that comes just a year after the Port Authority raised the fare to the present rate from $7.75. Wow. Wow. And the increased fare, which is pegged to automatically rise with inflation, will take effect on March 5th, reached for comment. A Port Authority spokesperson directed AM New York Metro to a previous December press release on the agency's budget. This budget makes the most of our efforts to recover the $3 billion of lost revenue that the agency experienced during the first 2 years of COVID and emerge as a leaner, more efficient operation, said Port Authority Executive Director Rick Cotton. Rick Cotton in a December statement. Damn, $3 billion? Um, yes, so um our 2023 budget acknowledges the difficult economic environment that we all face while providing the necessary resources to maintain, improve, and grow our assets responsibly to the benefit of the entire region. Inflation, by the way, no, hold on. Yes, inflation is also the culprit for a $1 increase in tolls planned by the Port Authority this year. $1. Um. All right. So yes, $1. That's crazy right there. Um. Wait a minute. Where did I see that? Oh, $1. Oh, wait. Yes. So air trains ferry passengers from major transit stops to the airport terminals at JFK and Newark. The JFK air train has two lines. One going from Jamaica and the other from Howard Beach. Rides are free between the terminals, but passengers must dole out the hefty fare to connect to the wider transit system. There are no free transfers between the subway and the air train, meaning one passenger must fork over $11 to get to the city's international airports on transit. A family of four would be out $44 for the commute to their flight. Taxi fare to JFK was recently raised to a flat $70. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's right there. That right there. Um. Okay, so air trains also do not accept Omni. Only, damn, they don't accept Omni. Only allowing those swiping MetroCards to enter the system. And the Port Authority has indicated it does not plan to integrate Omni into the system. Transit advocates say the bulky fare discourages riders from taking transit to the airport and by extension incentivizes driving or taking a cab or Uber. Passengers heading to and from LaGuardia Airport, which does not have an air train, and likely never will after Governor Kathy Hochul um, halted the controversial planned shuttle by her predecessor, seeking alternative proposals can hop on the Q70 select bus for free. Some advocates say the fare should be eliminated completely. Governor Hochul should encourage air travelers to ride transit to JFK Airport. A fare hike, whether on the subway or air train, does just the opposite. The air train fare should be cut or eliminated, said Danny Pearlstein, spokesperson for the Riders Alliance, a strap hanger advocacy group. Just the fact that there's an air train fare at all and no free transfer to the bus, subway, or Long Island Railroad. And the state is undertaking a multi-billion-dollar highway expansion cutting through Jamaica to JFK displays virtually everything inequitable and inefficient about public transit in New York. Damn, son. Damn. Damn, son. That right there is a little crazy. And speaking of crazy, um speaking of crazy, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority on Wednesday unveiled new survey results touting improvements in on time performance and customer satisfaction on its Access a Ride paratransit service. But riders with disabilities say the survey findings failed to tell the real story. On time performance for Access a Ride primary blue and white vans climbed from 90% in September 2021 to 98% last month, said MTA Chair General Lieber on Wednesday. While performance in its fleet of for hire broker services went from a nadir of 84% in November 2021 to 95% last year, according to the MTA's January Pulse survey of paratransit riders. Customer satisfaction is at an all-time high of 76%, the chair said. To bring Access a Ride operations well into the 21st century, the MTA updated the My Double R smartphone app, which is used to book trips, check trip status, and manage a rider's paratransit subscription. The patch aims to provide clearer information on arrival and departure times while also making it compatible with screen readers for blind riders. We're making it much more user friendly and comparable to other rideshare apps out there, Lieber said. Our customers deserve a seamless first class experience on every MTA mode, and we're determined to give it to them. But the stats are misleading. Say some advocates for disabled riders. Um, Joe Rappaport, executive director of the Brooklyn Center for the Independence of the Disabled, told AM New York Metro that what's considered on-time performance for Access a Ride only means the van showed up within 30 minutes of its scheduled time, an extremely generous window that would likely not be taken kindly by subway and bus riders. Lieber said on Wednesday that with the high on-time stats under the current model, the agency is in the process of changing the time threshold for on-time performance from 30 minutes down to 30 minutes. We support the MTA's plan to narrow that window to 20 minutes and expect the MTA to require brokers to meet its 15-minute requirement, Rappaport said in an email. So far, it is quite far from that goal. Nothing to brag about for sure. Access to Ride was created in 1991 after the passage of the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act the year prior. It exists to meet the needs of nearly 1 million New Yorkers with disabilities who are of the shut out of much of the region's transit system, with only about a quarter of subway stations considered ADA compliant. Last June, the MTA settled a lawsuit with advocates wherein it agreed to make 95% of stations accessible by 2025. Wow. And I mean, wow. All right. For the intervening 30 years, disabled strap hangers will still have to rely on access a ride. But regular riders say the service's shortcomings effectively keep them as second-class citizens in contravention to the ADA's goals. For instance, access a ride requires customer book any trip between 1 to 2 days in advance, unlike subway and bus customers who can walk to their stop at whim. Reservations can only be made during business hours from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. by phone or on the app. And unlike subways and buses, which operate on fixed lines, paratransit operators pick up passengers from set locations within generous geographic boundaries. And that means riders often find themselves taken well out of the way of their destination as vans detour to other passengers, significantly increasing trip times. Oftentimes, that ends in two different distinct ways. Riders are very late, or if they built in a big cushion of time that ultimately wasn't needed very early. Gene Ryan, a former college professor, wheelchair user, and president of Disabled in Action of Metropolitan New York, told AM New York Metro in an interview that when she went to last month's MTA board meeting in Lower Manhattan, as she often does, she left home in Brooklyn at 6:30 a.m. only to arrive in about a half hour, and wait in the lobby until the meeting started at 8:30 a.m. Her trip back home took 45 minutes, though the app had advised her to expect um up to an hour and a half. That unpredictability effectively discourages people with disabilities from living their best life, Ryan posits. Ha! Yeah, we all know what it's like to be discouraged, right? We all know what it's like to be discouraged. Yeah, all this kind of stuff, too late, too early, or too long of riding around, that discourages people from using the system. Ryan said in the interview, access to ride is too slow or too early, just too many things like that discourages people. Riders are not alone. in noticing the shortcomings. In October, the Department of Justice sent a letter to the MTA outlining myriad ways it considered access or right to not be in compliance with the ADA. In quote, the New York City Transit Authority has failed to provide paratransit service at a level of service comparable to the level of service provided to individuals who use the fixed route system. Reads the October 17th letter to New York City Transit General Counsel Paige Graves, signed by U.S. Attorney Damian Williams of the Southern District of New York. The letter highlighted substantial numbers of significantly untimely pickups or drop-offs, substantial numbers of trip denials or missed trips, and excessively long trips as capacity constraints put on riders in violation of the ADA. The federal investigators found that 9.9% of access a ride drop offs were more than 5 minutes late, while nearly 40% were dropped off more than a half hour ahead of their requested time. DOJ also found the MTA to use excessive travel time guidelines for access a ride, with a 50-minute ride to cover just 3 miles and nearly 2 hours to go 9 miles considered to be on-time performance. That's because the mileage of any given trip is often a misnomer. A misnomer. Oh wow. As riders are taken on circuitous circuit circuitous routes well out of the way of their destination so vans can pick up other riders. DOJ's analysis found that 72% of trips originating in Queens, 78% from Brooklyn, and a whopping 91% from Manhattan were considered generally excessive compared to subway or bus trips. Bronx and Staten Island originating trips did not see substantial numbers of excessive trip times. Excessive trips are considered those that are at least 15 minutes longer than would be a comparable trip by subway or bus. The letter identifies broad recommendations the MTA must undertake to reform the operations of its paratransit system to address the identified capacity constraints. To comply, the agency must establish performance standards ensuring untimely drop offs are not operational practice, collect and analyze data on requested drop off times, and reduce the number of excessive trips and collect and analyze data on trip length. The MTA must also establish incentives for contractors to meet new performance standards and consequences for failing to meet above. On Wednesday, MTA Paratransit Chief Chris Pangilinan said the DOJ's underlying data was outdated from a different period at MTA, a different period at Access a Ride when service was a little more difficult. And that service has improved markedly in the interim, even claiming that many of DOJ's recommendations are already in place. We've come a long way since then, especially in the last couple of years, said Pangilinan. And I'm very happy to say that a lot of the recommendations in that letter we've already taken care of, even before we received it. The two assistant U.S. attorneys who wrote the letter, Laura Eskenazi and Lucas Issacharoff, did not respond to a request for comment. Despite the MTA's touted improvements, the spring may see paratransit riders become the unwilling subject of political jockeying over funding the financially beleaguered authority. Last week, Governor Kathy Hochul proposed a plan to rescue the authority from the edge of a fiscal cliff, which included, among other things, a call for the city to contribute $500 million more annually to, in part, fund access a ride. Hmm. Okay. This week, Mayor Eric Adams threw cold water on the request, arguing the city does not have the fiscal resources to make such a colossal contribution and grumbling that other municipalities were not being asked to do the same. Negotiations are ongoing for the state budget, which is due by April the 1st. I will keep an eye on this story. On Wednesday, 13 disability advocacy groups sent a letter to Hochul calling for increased state funding, not just to save the authority from collapse, but to expand capacity with more frequent service, joining a broader push from elected officials and advocacy organizations, which are calling for Albany to guarantee 6-minute train headways. End quote. The public transit system makes it possible for us to access work, education, healthcare, and other essential opportunities and services. Reads the letter. Frequent transit is essential to improving access because elevators are small and accessible seating areas are limited. End quote. All New Yorkers benefit when many people rather, who can use transit opt to ride rather than drive, including disabled passengers. The missive continues. We accordingly urge you to adopt a sustainable MTA funding model and fund more frequent transit service in your budget this year. Reach for comment. MTA spokesperson Eugene Resnick said that 6-minute headways are not pie in the sky idealism, but the lived reality today of most MTA passengers, though he did not lend support to the advocacy campaign. Most transit customers are benefiting from better than 6-minute headways already, and on time performance hit a 10-year high in January, said Resnick. The mission to provide faster, cleaner, safer service has already seen success in improving customer satisfaction. Okay. Um okay. All right, we're going to go into all right, we need to get into let me see. Okay, so let's get into uh all right, let's get into the cartoon situation involving HBO Max. And that will be our next segment, chatting all the jazz right here. So hold on a second. All right. We need to discuss what's going on with the cartoons at HBO Max. And it seems like these cartoons that we grew up watching, especially the Flintstones and Bugs Bunny and all these other cartoons that we grew up watching and stuff in the 90s or the 90s and all that other stuff, it seems like the cartoons are being dropped. And I'm gonna fill you in on why in a second. I'll fill you in on why in a second though, man, because this is just beyond crazy right here, man. Um, this is beyond crazy to me. Let me fill you in on what's going on here with these cartoons from HBO Max and the reason why it's getting dropped. Let's get into this. Okay. And this is according to Variety right here. Yes, Variety. All right. Warner Brothers Discovery's content purge of HBO Max continued with a year-end calling of a bucket of classic Looney Tunes shorts and the Flintstones episodes. Um, and a little recap of what went down. As of December 31st, HBO Max removed seasons 16 through 31 of the original Looney Tunes library. Variety has confirmed. Still remaining on the service are Looney Tunes seasons 1 through 15, which comprise 255 shorts spanning from 1930 to 49. Oh, and shorts that were deleted were released from 1950 to 2004, including What's Opera Doc, Feed the Kitty, Rabbit of Seville, Duck Amok, and One Froggy Evening, as noted by Vulture. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, man. In addition to HBO Max has pulled seasons 4 through 6 of the Flintstones, a total of 78 episodes. The first 3 seasons of the Hanna-Barbera classic are still available on the service. Well, I don't know, man. Like it just wow. I mean, wow, man. I feel like these people are being too much of a cheapskate right here, man. But I digress on that shit though, man. Like this is just beyond crazy and this is just nuts. Man. Oh boy. Um okay. And let's see. All right. The Looney Tunes and Flintstones content was licensed to HBO Max from Warner Brothers under an intra company deal. Those licensing agreements expired at the end of 2022, and HBO Max did not renew them as it seeks to reduce content expenses. Yeah, you fucking cheapskate motherfuckers. Yeah, y'all so fucking cheap, man. Y'all too cheap for your own fucking good, man. And not to and that's why a lot of people don't barely go on HBO Max is because of their cheapskating ways. You get to fucking get all the other unnecessary fucking TV shows that people didn't ask for, but then you want to cut down on fucking cartoons. This is bogus, man. This is bogus and fucking disgusting to me, man. Hmm. All All right. um. Okay. So let me see. It's unclear whether the Looney Tunes and Flintstones content that is no longer on HBO Max other will be available other streaming platforms. HBO Max's removal of the Looney Tunes shorts was reported on December 31st by a Twitter account called The Cartoon News. In a follow-up post Monday, the account said, without citing a source, that the Looney Tunes clips were removed temporarily due to a maintenance check to fix the Photoshop titles and that they will be returning to HBO Max soon. Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right. A source familiar with HBO Max told Variety that the Looney Tunes shorts will not, in fact, be coming back to the service. Since Discovery's acquisition of Warner Media to form Warner Brothers Discovery, the company has made a series of content cutbacks aimed at reducing expenses. That has included canceling HBO Max original series Minx, reversing the season 2 renewal, and HBO's The Nevers, which I never heard of before. Um, Earlier in the year, HBO Max had expunged multiple exclusive titles and original series and 200 older Sesame Street episodes. All told, um, Warner Brothers Discovery said last month the company could incur content impairment and development write-off charges up to $3.5 billion as a result of the merger. Damn. Damn. Wow, you cannot be serious, man. You cannot be serious. Like, really though? Really though? You mean tell me you can't find another way to actually save those cartoons? But you want to put fucking the Nevers, which nobody in the fucking world right in their mind actually heard of. And this is why your shit is tanking. Yeah. Oh man. Oh my fucking gosh though, man. Oh shit. This is so fucking ridiculous. Just the merger. So yeah, wait. Yeah. Earlier in the year, HBO Max had I already read that part right there. In addition, Warner Brothers Discovery last month announced plans to remove several shows from HBO Max, including Westworld, The Nevers, Raised by Wolves, F Boy Island, Legendary, Finding Magic Mike, Head of the Class, and The Time Traveler's Wife, in order to license them to third-party free ad-supported streaming TV fast partners. At the same time, Warner Brothers Discovery is prepping a merged HBO Max Discovery Plus platform to set to launch in the US in the spring of 2023, which probably means between March and April or May. So it's in between those months though. Probably. But there's no specific date for it quite yet, so remains to be seen. All right. Yes, remains to be seen. Let's see. So at the same time, Warner Bros. Discovery. Yeah, I already read that. So the company hasn't announced details on pricing, packaging, or a name yet, although Max is among the contenders. So I'll keep it if I hear any new developments of this story involving the specific date of the app that they're so-called developing and the specific date and all the other stuff, the juicy details, I will bring it to you here on this New York podcast platform. All right, so all right, moving on to um DJ Khaled. I'm sorry for laughing, but this story really tripped me out though, man. Like, how do you crash a golf cart? How do you do that? I don't get it. Like, oh shit. Let me fill you. I'm gonna fill you in on it though, man. So just bear with me, folks, man. I'm just having a moment of laughter right now. So this is exactly what laughter heals all wounds, man. You know what I'm saying? Same with love. You know what I mean? I mean, all right, so this is from Hip Hop DX. DJ Khaled almost crashed a golf cart while out golfing in the Bahamas, but he wasn't going to let a little accident keep him down. Almost? Did you just say almost? You're crazy. Listen, you know good and hell and well that almost does not fucking count, man. Yeah. you know, almost don't fucking count though, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is kind of crazy, man, and I'm not even gonna hold you on this one. So this is just, I don't know, man, but this is crazy. This is crazy right here, man. Why don't you look me up? All right. One moment. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, this. Oh man. Oh my gosh. So all right. All right, hold on a minute here. All right, let's continue where we left off here. The best boss is currently on vacation with his family in the Caribbean island, and he hit the links to get a game of golf in this week. Khaled documented the game on Instagram as he made his way through the course, but he got into a slight mishap with his cart. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Really? Really? Yeah. Yeah, oh man. Um in the clip shared online, Khaled was sitting behind the wheel while stuck in some sand. Well, hope it's not quicksand though. Someone came to help push the cart out, after which the guy did hitmaker reversed into another pile of sand before pulling off and almost crashing again. That didn't stop Khaled from brushing off his blunder and delivering one of his trademark motivational speeches, though. In life there's roadblocks. Don't let nothing stop you, cause we hold on a minute. Don't let anybody stop you um because we ain't stopping. We're gonna keep going. He said into the camera after parking next to another golf cart he almost hit. Uh DJ Khaled had a better day on the green the following day as excuse me as he took the cameras back out to capture him getting some shots in. He also challenged businessman and United Masters founder Steve Stolt to a game. Let's go golfing, Steve Stolt. We friends, we family, Steve, and the weather is beautiful. Khaled captioned one of his Instagram posts. If you don't want to play, I get it. You my brother. Either way. Hashtag we the best retreat. Stolt accepted the challenge, replying in the comments section, wow, 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 you really want the smoke? Oh, you really want the damn smoke. And speaking of the smoke, here it is. All right. Khaled isn't the only hip hop figure who likes to golf. Schoolboy Q, 21 Savage, and Rick Ross have also been known to hit the fairway, with the former even competing in the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro Am last year. Interesting here. Meanwhile, DJ Khaled recently secured a pair of Eminem's ultra rare Nike Air Jordan 4 Encore sneakers. The Miami, Florida native took to his Instagram last month to celebrate finally purchasing what is now one of his most prized possessions. I finally got them. Anybody know me? I've been trying to get these for the longest time, he said. Yes, I have a lot of sneakers. I collect sneakers. I collect watches, and I love my sneakers, but I've been trying to get these for so long, and I finally got them. The world is, they only made like 23 pairs of these. I'm sure they made a little more than that, but I know I've been trying to get them, and I could never get them. The Air Jordan 4 Encore was originally released in 2005 to commemorate Eminem's multi-platinum 2004 album of the same name. According to Sneaker Bar Detroit. only only 50 pairs were made at the time and distributed amongst M's friends and family. Yes, you could check out Sneaker Bar Detroit in the link right there on Hip Hop DX. All right. Yeah, you can go to their website. Actually, let me check this out real quick. Let me check this out real quick though. Yes, you can go to sneakerbardetroit.com to check out the Eminem Air Jordan 4 Encore. You can check those out if you are in the and that's crazy, man, that this came out years ago. Oh wow. Yeah, this came out years ago and I was like, "Damn. Aren't these the one that came out years ago? That's crazy." So it is crazy though if you really want to get technical and stuff. Um so yes, so check out the website sneakerbar.com. Only yes, so that's crazy. The Suede Blue Fours returned with a retro version in 2017 where only another 23 pair were produced and given to exclusive customers. If you're gonna cop sneakers like that in different colors, make sure you have some outfits to actually match the drip, as Fly Tie Bands would usually say when it comes to his kicks and outfits. Shouts to him. He was at the fashion show, the New York Fashion Show, New York Fashion Week. I actually saw a picture. Shouts to him, man. You know what I'm saying? That's basically that's basically I gotta say, man, when I looked at that video clip, this guy was this guy's lit. And if you don't know about Fly Tie Bands, follow him on Fly Tie Bands underscore on Instagram so you can see his major fashion sense. Because I never been it's crazy that I never been to Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week before, but I hear that it's pretty expensive to get in though. I hear it's pretty expensive to get in, which I'm not gonna hold you though. It is pretty expensive, so let me just make some noise. Let me make some noise for Fly Top Bands for being in the New York Fashion Week event. You know what I mean? Because there's a saying that you want to give people their flowers while they are alive. All right, so here it is. Yes. Yes. Of course, when you give people their flowers, um they will appreciate you. All right. Um up next we have I didn't get a chance to cover this while the whole takeoff thing that happened. I didn't get a chance to cover that. So Waka Flocka Flame actually was saying something during the tribute. So let's get into it right here. Okay. Um and Okay, so Waka Flocka Flame has weighed in on Takeoff's death, urging rappers to move smarter and stay out of the hood once they achieve success. The Flockavelli rapper appeared as the latest guest on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast, where he reflected on his evolution from Brick Squad bruiser to shrewd businessman. Around the 35-minute mark, Sharp asked Flocker about the tragic trend of rap murders in recent years, reeling off names like Pop Smoke, P&B Rock, Trouble, and Takeoff, the latter of whom was killed by stray bullets outside a Houston bowling alley in November. And he states in quotes, I can't tell you why, and I never want to speak on nobody's death, but I could tell you this. When God blesses you, you have to change your ways. You have to evolve. You have to, Flocka offered. I could just say wrong place, wrong time for these guys. And so, in other words, once you ascend to a certain level, you gotta leave that alone. Sharp added, mentioning the fact that Takeoff's death stemmed from a dice game involving Quavo and other men that turned violent. Oh yeah, I don't roll dice, Walker interjected. With all respect, why would I roll dice with somebody that ain't in my tax bracket? It's liable that some shit could happen. And while Sharp admitted that he too is guilty of going back to the hood to show you that I don't think I'm better than you. Walker said he's never felt the need to prove himself to anyone but himself. Boy, I ain't never been that nigga, he scoffed. I watch people die every day like that. That's why I ain't never been him. I ain't got nothing to prove to y'all. Earlier in the interview, Waka Flocka Flame explained why he stopped going back to his old neighborhood, crediting the late comedian and civil rights activist Dick Gregory for changing his mindset. My whole shit coming up was to make it out the hood. He said, I'm not one of those niggas who go be a billionaire and go sit in a hood and roll dice and smoke weed. I want to buy the block. I want our name on the block. But what made me actually stop hanging in the hood was Dick Gregory. I watched this clip. Dick Gregory was like, nigga, why you buy this Rolls Royce to ride through the hood to show you the richest motherfucker? That I can't buy one. And it's crazy because that's why I bought it. I was young, like, nigga, we getting money on the south side. I'm finna pull a phantom out here, but I was ignorant. He added in quote, I could have bought this condo in downtown Atlanta that I ride by every day, and it's fucking five times the value. Egg on my face, right? So when I saw Dick Gregory say that, I actually got out that car. I ended up getting an Escalade, and I've been driving an Escalade ever since 2011. Walker went on to explain that he achieved his life goals at just um, 23 years old, thanks to his music career taking off, but quickly realized how little he knew about maintaining and growing that success. I was sitting so high on top of my mountain, I just kept smelling something. It smelled like manure. I was standing on top of shit mountain. He said shit mountain. Oh man. He reflected. Oh wow. Okay, this is some laughable shit though, man. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. This is some laughable shit though, man. All right, oh shit. Um, I didn't have no business. I didn't have no financial literacy. I didn't have an insurance policy. I didn't know what trust accounts was, shell companies. I didn't know how to buy tangible businesses. I didn't know nothing. Um, he also stated, so I was like, how am I this famous guy? How am I this famous guy? And I'm the big homie, and y'all respect me, but I can't even tell you how to open up a bank account. I didn't even know how to open up a bank account sharp. My mother ain't have time to teach me that. She was too busy paying bills and making sure we alive. He added, it felt good. It felt so good learning that. Usually, if I want to run money up, I'd have to go in the streets. Now, y'all got good credit. Some holding companies, I could get, I could go get me a loan. I could get a loan right now for $10 million, $20 million, $100 million. It's just perspective and a good business plan. And he also stated in quote, so when you start learning things like that, why would you be a edge monster? I don't care how gangster you are, my boy. If you start learning this real business, man, you ain't thugging. I'm not going nowhere where all the odds are against me. It's stupidity. And that's what made me stop. I was on top of shit mountain and I wanted to build Mount Everest. Wow. 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 And I mean wow. That is that is how you actually now that was some explosive answers right there. He's right. Okay. All right. So let's go to Leslie Jones. Let's go to Leslie Jones. All right. Leslie Jones. Here we are. Here we go. All right, let me take a look here. Okay, Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones. Here we are. Um. All right. So, most recently, Leslie Jones has taken over the desk at The Daily Show and has started as a guest host of the show this week. This was recently last month. According to CBS News, the Saturday Night Live alum has already started hosting the show formerly held by Trevor Noah this week after kicking it off on Tuesday, January 17th. She will be behind the desk on Wednesday, January 18th and Thursday, January 19th. I'm not Jon Stewart. I'm not Trevor Noah. I'm Leslie Jones. So I'll be bringing that vulnerable honesty, Jones said. No assignment to me is ever different. It's always them asking for me. Pretty much what I come to deliver is me. So it's not really too much different than when I used to do updates at SNL or doing stand up, it's all talking. And after hosting the series for 7 years, Noah stepped down as the host of the Comedy Central show back in December 2022. Other guest hosts include D.L. Hughley, Wanda Sykes, and Marlon Wayans. A new permanent host has not yet been named. The Daily Show airs weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern on Comedy Central and is available the following morning on Paramount Plus. You can go check that out for yourself. And if I hear any new details on a permanent host for the Daily Show, I'll give it to you right here on this New York podcast platform. All right, so Kendrick Lamar. Let's go. Yes. Kendrick Lamar wears many crowns, and his comeback album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, has taken home the trophy for Spotify's most streamed rap album of 2022. According to chart data, The former TDE rapper's latest effort earned the top spot in the rap category with 1.4 billion streams on Spotify. Not far behind was Nas' Demons Protected by Angels, Jack Harlow's Come Home, The Kids Miss You, Drake and 21 Savage's Her Loss, and Future's I Never Liked You to reportedly round up the top 5. Chart data confirmed to Hip Hop DX that the streams are not guaranteed 2022 streams. The rankings include lifetime streams for projects with a 2022 release date. Therefore, although Nas' Lemonade collaboration with Internet Money oh shit. Internet Money. Wow. Gunna and Don Toliver was released as a single in 2020 because it features on Nas' 2022 album Demons Protected by Angels. All of its streams since its original release count towards its final total. And back in August, Kendrick's Big Steppers album became the first rap project to cross the billion stream mark. So him lifting up the championship belt at the end of 2022 doesn't come as much of a surprise. K. Dot's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers arrived in May to end the Compton rapper's drought as fans welcomed his first solo LP in 5 years. He ended up earning the 7th most first week sales in 2022, notching just shy of 300,000 with a first week of 296,000 units. In addition to acclaim from fans, Lamar earned the respect of his peers with his latest offering as Russ gave Kendrick's Father Time Song of the Year honors. The Compton native could be adding more hardware to his trophy case in 2023. Kendrick snagged 8 Grammy Award nominations for his latest album. He picked up nominations for Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Music Video for The Heart Part 5, along with Best Rap Album, Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, and Best Melodic Rap Performance. He also took home 3 2022 Hip Hop DX Awards for Best Rapper, Best Hip Hop Album, and Best Music Video. The rap god hit the road for the better part of 2022 as he wrapped up his Big Steppers tour in New Zealand last month after performing 76 shows in 16 countries spanning 3 different continents. Kendrick finished off his final performance and promised fans it wasn't his last time on stage. He'd be back in the future. All right. Okay. All right. Let's make some noise. Okay, let's make some noise for Kendrick Lamar and for being nominated and taking home some awards, which is pretty dope. And we should actually get into this here. So let's get into it. Make some noise right here for Kendrick Lamar. Hold on a minute here. All right, okay. What else we have on the agenda here? Yes, so all right, so most recently, there was a McDonald's commercial in honor of Super Bowl 57 that just passed recently. So we need to actually get into this right here, man. Yes, so this right here, this was an interesting one right here, man. When I saw the video the other day, actually. So Cardi B and Offset surprised fans when they popped up at a McDonald's restaurant in the heart of New York City earlier this week in celebration of the launch of their collab meal. A swarm of fans met the couple at the always busy Times Square Golden Arches location on Tuesday afternoon, February 14th, which was 2 days ago, where Cardi and Set enjoyed their signature meal that launched with a Super Bowl commercial over the weekend. I will be going over the other Super Bowl commercial ads in episode 238. So stay tuned for that one. And according to TMZ, there was a kiss cam inside for Cardi and Offset to take pictures with, and they ended up on the Jumbotron for all of Times Square to see. Just a little surprise appearance, Cardi captioned her Instagram story, embracing the droves of fans with their phones out and waving. The celebrity meal for two is filled with a cheeseburger, quarter pounder with cheese, barbecue sauce, large fries to share, an apple pie, a large high C, and a large Coke. Yum. Yum. That is so delicious. Yum. And I mean yum. That's delicious though, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't go wrong with this though. You can't go wrong with this though, man. That shit makes you want to um that shit makes you hungry that you want to try this out though. I know certain people would do that too, man. So so this is pretty interesting right here. The accompanying commercial aired during Super Bowl 57 on Sunday night on Fox 5 and 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 other local listings on February 12th, just ahead of Valentine's Day. The romantic ad. The romantic ad opens with a woman explaining if she doesn't know her boyfriend's McDonald's order, then she doesn't really know him, followed by several other companies speaking about their significant other's go to meal. He's like a quarter pounder and a high C, no onions, just cheese. He he i- he is a simple man, Cardi said of Offset's favorite order before the topic of French fries came into play. One of the other boyfriends spoke about getting points for sharing their fries, which prompted Offset to say, if it's mine, it's hers. There ain't no stealing. The invasion of privacy rapper also teased that official Cardi B and Offset and McDonald's merchandise is on the way to commemorate the fast food collaboration. Offset and Cardi B are far from the first celebrities to receive their own McDonald's meal, as Sweetie, Travis Scott, J Balvin, and BTS are among those to previously have their own specific celebrity meal for a limited time at Mickey D's, which is the nickname that everybody used to say back in the days. So that's pretty dope, though, right? That's pretty dope right here. Um, so yes, so let's yeah, so let's make some noise right here, man, for Cardi B and Offset, especially for that commercial. This is some fun stuff to watch as part of the Super Bowl 57 commercial ad this past weekend. So um there it is. All right. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we have left to talk about here? So that's pretty dope right here. And designer. Designer. All right. So designer will be the last topic to talk about here. Let me just hold on a second here. Yeah, designer. Let's get to it right here. Here it is. Hang on one second. Okay. So designer has returned from his short-lived retirement to drop a new video for his song Bigger and Bigger. The former Good Music signee had previously announced his retirement from rap in the wake of Takeoff's death last November, but changed his mind a few days later, proclaiming he's got to keep going because music is his therapy. And he said, in quote, "I'm not gonna stop. Music is my therapy," designer said on his IG stories. Lost a lot of bros this year. We all say things out of emotions, but um we all say things out of emotions. But the truth is, in me, being able to let out a good cry helped me see things more clearer now. I'm excited to I'm excited to keep sharing the gift of music that God gave me to y'all. Designer has now returned with his first new track since that announcement called Bigger and Bigger, which follows the Brooklyn rapper as he walks around his city as a king like larger than life figure. The last full length fans got from Designer was his 2018 tape LOD, which served as his final release on Good Music and Def Jam. In an interview with Vlad TV last September, Designer said he left Kanye West's label because of a lack of mentorship from Ye. The reason why I left Ye is because I was going through a little mental thing. Designer told Vlad, I was just coming up out of high school. My pops just went into a coma while I was on tour. I was having a great time, but I just knew something at home was happening with my mom and my pops' health and shit. So it was just like I wanted Ye to and talk to, and it was hard to speak on it. So I wound up just like I don't know, man. I was just going through it. I had a young emotional stage at the time, but I was having so much fun, bro. He continued and quote, I couldn't express myself what was going on at the crib to my label mates. So maybe I shouldn't have brung my emotion into the game. But it was just something like I was young. I never was taught not to keep my emotions out the game because I was coming from a place where not too many people made it, bro. All we got is emotion in the hood. Like we driving off emotion, like situations occur because just emotions out there. And so I am just so used to that. And I just wanted somebody like that, big brother stuff at the same time as being in the label, not just like, hey, yo, designer, he's making us these millions, but like, bro, really peep his background. Um, you gotta zoovie him up real quick. Let him know what he could say on the interviews, certain shit. Because I was getting nervous. I can't lie. First coming up, I was getting nervous. Well, glad that he glad that he cleared this up, and that's pretty dope that he just decided to come back to music because it's very therapeutic for people, you know what I'm saying? And we all need something that's therapeutic to actually calm our nerves and shit, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of that, before I continue, let me run to this bathroom. I'll be back. Sorry about that, folks. I had to use the bathroom. Um all right, so let's see what else we have left to talk about. I think that's it, man. Yeah, I think that's it right here. Um okay. So there's a segment that I haven't done for a very long time, right? A segment that I haven't done in a very long time, which is pertaining to um having something to offer as far as like having to be able to, you know, not only help but guide people into some things that they need to start a podcast. So why don't we go to podcast free game? No, hold on. No, that's not it. Let's go to podcast free game mechanisms for a sec, man. It's been a minute since I actually did this segment right here, so let's do this. Let's do this right here, man. Okay, for all you new listeners out there that don't know about this segment right here, podcast free game mechanisms right here, man. This is a segment where I actually give you folks out there something to offer as far as guidance and some help on how to start a podcast, like I'm doing with 3 podcast shows underneath my belt. Um, which I am pretty successful so far, actually. And the first thing I want to say to all the new coming podcast content creators and hosts is that you don't necessarily need a fancy um recording expensive studio to record your podcast episodes. You can record your podcast on a laptop. Actually, let's break down some things that you need to start a podcast. So let's do this. So, first things first, you need headphones. And of course, you need a microphone right here. It could be any microphone that you choose. Any microphone that you choose right here, you know what I'm saying? It could be a Yeti microphone, it could be an Avascon A800 model, which is what I'm using right now to record a podcast for you folks out here. And the most important thing that you need is a laptop. Whether you have an Apple Mac or a Dell Windows laptop, a Dell's laptop that comes with Windows, and of course you're gonna need that as well. So, and of course, the most important thing is you need a hosting site. Now, I will recommend Anchor.fm because it allows you to own your stuff, man. You feel what I'm saying? It allows you to own your stuff. You own your podcast. You own your content. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Why do you need to waste money on a particular hosting site like Buzzsprout as far as limited storages and all that other shit? You know what I'm saying? And yes, so for those of you who may not know what Anchor FM is, Anchor FM is the hosting site that gives you the important key ingredients to create a podcast, which allows you to edit. It allows you to create audio recordings. You can add your music intros, your outros, even sound effects for that matter. You can even add sound effects to this shit too, while you're recording. And on top of that, the beauty behind it is for you to have fun with your podcast. Don't worry about being a people pleaser. The only person you should be pleasing is yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to say another important thing is that you need a supporting software, which is StreamYard. Yes, StreamYard is the software that I use where you can actually connect to your Facebook, LinkedIn, which I don't really use. You can also connect to your Twitch, and you can also connect to your YouTube channels. You know what I'm saying? And yes, and what I like about StreamYard, folks, is that you have better sound quality. You get a chance to invite 6 people in the free version. If you want to do more than that, you have to pay. You know what I'm saying? But I would go with the free version first, though. You know what I mean? Just to test the just to test the waters out here. And and on top of that, it's better than Zoom. It's better than Zoom. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like giving y'all some free game on how to start a podcast and stuff. Of course, you do need you need everything. of course, first of all, like I said before, you don't need a fancy, expensive recording studio to actually do any of this stuff. All right. And you can also, if for lighting purposes, you can also order yourself a ring light, like I have right here for my live stream purposes for my YouTube channel. Of course, you can get a ring light at on Amazon. You can look for it on Amazon, and alongside with you can also get an extension cord of the USB where it has all the USB plugs, which is what I have right here to connect my ring lights and the microphone that I'm using right here. So that's pretty good to know. That was your free game podcast mechanisms. Of course, if you need help or anything like that, or any type of equipment that you need or whatever, um, I will gladly guide you on where you can find it, especially if it's like on Amazon, whether it's on eBay, then I will look for it for you, but you would have to get it yourself. All right. So there you have it right there. That was your podcast free game mechanisms right here. And now, finally, and I mean finally, we are going to the very last thing right here, which is which is stream choices on the go. This is a segment for you new people, new listeners out there that's actually new at this, that don't know what this is about. This is basically where I inform you on where you can follow the podcast on social media, and of course audio streaming platforms where you could actually check out the episodes and stuff. So I got y'all right here. So stream choices on the go right here. Let's do this. All right. Yes. You like the topics that was discussed in today's episode or any previous episodes whatsoever, why don't you go ahead and show your love by following Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast on Facebook and alongside with Instagram. And also follow my other two shows that's also on there as well, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the sports edition show, and the review show Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, which I will be recording in a couple of minutes after I finish eating. And alongside with following your homie right here, G Money Stacks, on the primary handle on the gram, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. And of course, be sure to turn your notifications to details on anything that comes up or whatever, as far as like, um the postponement of the podcast recording episode, and and of course when each episode is going to be dropping on each day. So I like to throw in there, if you go to the link in bio, it's going to say Linktree/G Money Stacks 555. And you're going to see a whole list of audio streaming platforms where you can see where you can actually listen to the episodes and stuff. So first and foremost, if you have Anchor.fm, make sure you actually download it make sure you download it. And you can also leave a voice message on Anchor.fm/G Money Stacks/message in case you have any comments on today's topics, how you feel about them, all that great stuff right there. And speaking of Anchor, this is where we're going to start. So we are on Anchor, Audacity, Audible, Audio Burst, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podbay, Podfriend, and the newly added streaming platform Podhound. Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts. And you don't need a credit card or a debit card to download these apps, including iHeartRadio right here. And of course, be sure to follow not only the New York podcast platform right here, make sure you follow my sports podcast, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast, the Sports Edition show, and Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Review Show, also on iHeartRadio as well. So, and finally, make sure you go to the YouTube channel G Money Stacks 555. Click on the noni bell so you can be reminded of when the show goes in the air via live stream, along with enabling alerts so you can be in the know on the time and when the recording of the live stream is going to start. And of course, be sure to leave a like and a comment along with the episodes. Of course, share the episodes, share the videos, download these episodes. Be sure to listen, stream, watch these episodes on every streaming platforms that I just mentioned, and tell a friend to another friend. Spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And of course, be sure to not only share the link that says linktree/GMoneyStacks555, which is also the YouTube channel of where you can see the New York podcast episodes on there. In case you miss any of them, don't worry. Everything's going to be uploaded and all that great stuff right there. And of course, share the podcast along with your husbands, your wives, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, friends, people you are cool with from work, people that you meet from festivities, gatherings, get-togethers, reunions, parties, wherever you meet people, you know what I'm saying? And that's going to do it for me, man. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Greginator, and also aka Greg. Thank you very much for listening and rocking with me on episode 237 titled Cartoons Dumped. All right. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. And of course, be sure to know that New York wasn't built in a day. You have to trust the process. Of course, find your voice, be comfortable with your voice, be confident in your voice, and be on a consistency basis with your craft. Very important. And also be yourself if you are going to be a host of your own podcast. And don't worry about pleasing other people. You know what I'm saying? And of course, be sure to find something and look for something that clicks to you while you are on your P's and Q's, that gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. And also remember this, be sure to download these apps onto your iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android tablets. Laptops includes Apple, Mac, and Dell laptop models, which includes Windows. You can download these apps onto your laptops as well. All right. And like I said, this is going to be it for me. I appreciate every single one of you for hearing me out on the mental health check-in segment. I know I haven't done that in a while. I should do this more often and all that great stuff right there. So I just wanted to actually say thank you for listening and hearing me out on what I've been going through. And And you could have listened to any podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this New York podcast platform right here. So thank you very much. I appreciate every single one of you, especially everybody in the USA, especially Canada, especially the people in international that's listening from international places, especially those in Canada. And of course, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the 5 boroughs of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I appreciate every single one of you. Let me take a look of what this person says right here. Let me take a look here. Man. I don't know what the hell's going on here. And shout outs to Robin. Shouts to Robin right here, man. I appreciate this right here. Happy TGIF Friday to you and everybody right here, man. I hope y'all enjoy your Friday and I hope y'all enjoy your weekend. I appreciate every single one of you, man. And I know I haven't talked to y'all in a long time. My phone has been out of commission for the past 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks. So we'll see what happens with 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 me getting a new phone and getting my driver's license out that damn garage. All right. So I would do my best next week and the week after to actually get it out of there, despite all the junk that's in there. So without further ado, peace and one love. Enjoy your weekend. Be careful out there. Stay liquid. Be on your P's and Q's. And I hope y'all had fun with some wild, crazy, and fun topics in every episode that I actually created. And stay tuned for episode 238 as I go over the Super Bowl commercials, including the bloopers of the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, including the one with Kevin Hart and the Tubi prank that happened. Stay tuned for all the details in a couple of minutes. And I'm out of here. Peace and one love. Have a great weekend. Be careful. Stay liquid. Be confident in what you love to do on your careers, whether you are a radio personality, whether you are a podcast host like myself who has 3 multiple podcasts under my belt, and whatever career field you do, don't let anybody stop you. Follow your goals and dreams and stuff. So that's gonna do it. I'm off this shit. Stay tuned for 238 in a couple of minutes. Peace out and good night, everybody.